Side on the play, but the Black Bears kept it in. Here's Powell. Powell shoots, scores! Kyle Powell, top shelf, short side. Black Bears lead 5-3 with 10-11 left in the second. Powell's second of the game.
What's up, everybody? This is your host, Sean Johnson, the creator of BenchMinerHockey.com, and welcome to episode number 6 of the Bench Miner Hockey Podcast, the hockey podcast that covers single A hockey news, as well as stories from players and staff. Friendly reminder, if you're watching the video podcast on YouTube, click that like and subscribe button. It really helps me out. And if you are listening to us on Apple Podcasts, be sure to give us a follow. Now, I would like to welcome you, Mr. Kyle Powell, to the podcast.
Thanks for having me, Sean.
Of course, I appreciate you coming on. What's going on there in Bingo?
Oh, not much. Just trying to figure out how we're gonna come back after a little tough loss from Saturday night. But the boys are back at practice this week, and hopefully come this weekend. 2 tough games against Danbury, so it's not gonna be a walk in the park.
Yeah, absolutely. I tried to watch all the games. It's near impossible, but I tried to watch them all. I tell you what, Danbury, they looked not so good on Friday night. I know they came out victorious 5-3, but man, they shook off the rust and came back Saturday strong. See that score? 12-5?
Yeah, it's 12-5. I mean, it's what happens in this league, though, right? Friday night you could struggle with the team, and then the next night you can absolutely destroy the team, or vice versa. You could destroy the team one night and come back and lose the next night. So it's a quick 24-hour turnaround in this league. And I mean, you've been around for a while. I've been around for a while. A bunch of guys have been around. So you never take anyone for granted, and no game is just an easy win right now. So
No, absolutely. One thing that I must have missed, I saw you played 3 games and not 4. And then I heard you were on crutches. What did I miss?
It was just a shot block in the first period of the Friday game. It just got me right where there's no padding on the ankle and just instant swelling. It's more precautionary right now, but the crutches, I couldn't put any weight on it the last 3 days. So that's just to help with the walking ability. But
Okay.
trainer and the doctor say there's no break. It's just a lot of swelling fluid and bruising of like the bone. So hopefully it's nothing too serious long term, but I'm rehabbing and therapy every day to try and get back out there as soon as possible.
Okay, so you're going to be out this weekend then? Or is it kind of day by day?
Time will tell. Yeah, I didn't skate today, but I mean, I could potentially skate Wednesday. So we'll see how tomorrow's therapy and rehabbing goes, and just go from there.
All right, absolutely. Yeah, we, wish you the best. We want to see you get out there, but of course, health is number one. So take care of yourself first.
Thanks. Yeah. No, I'm just doing what I can. Take care of the body.
I want to talk about. I'm gonna be selfish real quick. Let's talk about Bench Miner real quick. Have you been following us since the beginning, or is it kind of new to you?
I've been following since day one. Since you asked me to hit that like and follow button, I did that, and I told a bunch of the guys throughout the league, all my friends, to do the exact same.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Have you listened to our other podcast episodes yet?
Yeah, I've listened to all of them. A little Caranci there last week, played with him before, so he's always a gem to get out and talk to. But my coach, Gary Gill, big shout out to him. He's a good guy. I think it might be one of my favorite ones. Not sucking up or anything, but
no, I've gotten that a lot. Everyone, I haven't heard much about the Caranci one yet. Maybe it's because it's so new. But I keep hearing like Hunter Area is my favorite guest and Gary Gill is my favorite guest. So I think it's kind of a tie between those two right now. But we're still very early in the Bench Miner podcast series, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, usually your first one's always going to be like the best one, because that's what kicks it off. That's what jumpstarts this whole podcast, what starts Bench Miner Hockey. So having that to begin with, that's a good base layer of a foundation. And like you said, you can only go up from there, right?
Right. And I mean, I had to start off with a bang. I mean, what's bigger than the guy that got banned from the league, right?
Exactly. You can't do than that.
Oh, goodness. So let me ask you this. What do you like so much about Bench Miner Hockey right now?
I think the old one was Bus League Hockey, that they followed it, but they didn't really get like the 100% or like 90% updates every now and then. What's good about Bench Miner Hockey is you guys are following the FPHL, the SPHL, and you're slowly leaking into the ECHL, not as much, but when you're there, you're trying to give all the fans almost every update possible that they have so they can follow along without having to call someone or message someone. So it's good in that aspect that you're trying to keep everyone updated on the same page at the same time.
Right. No, I appreciate that. And a lot of people don't know this, but it's just me right now. I haven't recruited any help yet. So I'm kind of doing this on my own. It's my baby per se. Like I know a lot of people have asked to help and I really do appreciate it. I'm just you got to be careful. You can't let just anybody in, you know? So
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the thing of running your own business, even though it's not a business, it is a business in some people's aspects, but you do
mhm.
have your own. So this is your second child. Make
That's
sure
right. That's right. I'm
that,
new to
that
the dad club, so
there you go.
that actually I was actually going to ask you about your son. Now, I know he was born on Christmas, right?
Yeah, yeah. Christmas of 2017.
So he's going to be 5 this year.
Yeah, don't remind me. He's getting big. Way
Dude,
too.
I feel like you just had a son. Like,
Ah,
I can't believe
man,
it's been 5 years already.
I know. When we were in Watertown, it was crazy that I was getting a phone call. I gotta go home. Had my little boy, and haven't looked back since. So it's the, as you know now, it's the greatest gift ever in this world. So
No, I couldn't agree more, man. I do have to ask though, have you put him on skates yet?
yeah, he's been on skates. Surprisingly, he's lazier than me on the ice. So
Wow,
that's
that's saying something.
that's the big shout out to Logan there. But no, I'm not gonna force him with anything. He can go at his own pace. He's on skates, but he
Mhm.
doesn't skate often. So anything that he wants to do, whether it be sports, anything school related, and anything gifted off hands on kind of thing, I'm
Mhm.
there to 100%.
Right. So is he just kind of taking to skates or are you going to try to push hockey a little bit or just kind of see where it goes?
I just see where it goes. I mean, he will eventually just pick up what he likes, whether it be
Mhm.
hockey, baseball, basketball, swimming, lacrosse, anything that he wants to do, he's more than welcome to. I'm not going to force him anything. If it is hockey, great. I got a lot of knowledge as for what I know right now through the game, but if
Mhm.
not, whatever he wants to do is more than welcome.
Does he show any other interest in any other sports or is he still kind of a little bit too young for it yet?
I mean, he likes soccer. He kind of just kicks the ball around the yard a little bit, but baseball. Let me tell you, this kid can
Baseball.
throw hands unbelievably. Like I can't even throw with my left hand as good as he can throw with both of his hands, and that's saying a lot.
Well, I was going to ask you for your World Series picks, but maybe I should just call up Logan and ask him for his picks.
Yeah, seriously. My World Series picks went out the door when the Blue Jays lost, but I'm gonna have to go with one of my good buddies, Jerish. I'm gonna have to go with his Phillies on this one.
Right there with you. Being a Yankees fan, that was tough to watch. Getting swept, that
Yeah.
was embarrassing. But
A tough series, especially that late in the season. Getting swept hurts, but you never want to get that close and come up short, right?
right, I don't know. There's got to be a lot of changes on the Yankees this year. Hopefully, it starts with their manager, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you never know, right?
Going back to your son and you being in bingo, how do you balance your personal life with your like professional life?
Uh, it's a long road. I mean, you kind of take it day by day. You never know, but being far apart, you rely on those FaceTimes and video calls, and from that, the time off that I do get, I try and see him as much as possible. So during
Right.
the Christmas, obviously it's his birthday and Christmas, whatnot, but I try and get to see him as much as I can. Obviously, splitting time with family. That's between his mom and I. We got to discuss that, but doing everything you can just to do the little things, right? So it's tough at times, but you make it through.
Right. Yeah. You seem like you're doing a good job there. And is he going to be coming down to bingo to catch some Black Bear games of dad or what?
We'll see. Him and his mom and I got to discuss that. But he lives pretty close to the Port Huron and Motor City area, but he lives in
Okay.
Canada, so close enough to there that maybe when we're out on the road out there, I can see if he can catch a game or two.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. Going back to we'll talk stats real quick. Now, mind you, I'll remind everybody. Typically, I have like a script. This was like a last minute thrown together thing. I got nothing here, so I'm just going off the top of my head here. Your
All right.
stats. I was looking at those. Binghamton, you guys are first place in the Empire Division with a record of 3-1. You missed a game, but you have 7 points in 3 games. and you are leading the league, or I should say, you're tied for first place in assists with 7, and you're tied for first place with a plus minus of +9. What are your, I should say, what are your goals this season as stat wise? Do you want to lead the league in the category? I know every year you got like a different goal, so I'm just asking about this year.
Yeah, I mean, you never really focus more on the personal stats. I mean, it's nice to have, but all those numbers really just come from the guys that you play with. Every shift, every time you go out there, it's the other 4 guys plus your goalie that make my job and everyone else's job so much easier. So those numbers are all based on the other guys that pretty much do the rest of the work, especially the assist category. I just give up the puck. The other guys do the work and score the goals. But my ultimate goal, obviously, there's one goal in hockey. You win a championship. So I could have 7 assists the rest of the year. It won't bother me as long as at the end of the year we all get a ring here.
That's a true team player right there. And how many times have you won Defenseman of the Year?
I'm not too sure. You'd have to.
You got so many trophies you don't even know where you put them.
Well, I give them to my parents. They put them up in a mantle that my dad likes to have. So I don't really focus more on like all the personal goals. I mean it is absolutely a great honor to get those through the league. It's well respected, and I feel very appreciated to win them. But that's not my only goal at each season. I come in here, try to put on a good show with the fans, get a good team in, and hopefully win a championship at the end of the year.
Right. Yeah, definitely pulling for you guys. Obviously, I have to stay unbiased, but I did make a pick before the season started, and I said I think that this is Bingo's year. It's still early. You guys are looking good though, 3-1. Like you said, there's a lot of work still to do, but looking like you guys are in good shape there.
Yeah, I mean it's only 4 games in, so I always say it's page 4 of your book, right? So there's 56 total pages. You got to get through 52 more, and then you got to get through the playoff part of that book. So each day the page gets flipped, and you focus more on the small aspects that you can better the entire team game with.
And I also want to ask, I just saw that they added Jerry DiAmigo to the coaching staff. So how has it been working with Jerry and Gary?
Well, Gary alone, he's an unreal coach. He knows his game. He knows systems. He's a very well structured coach. Glad to be playing under him. Then Jerry's resume speaks for itself. I mean, off the ice, he's an even greater guy, just to talk to, just to be around. So his experience level alone is already adding to a lot of the guys through the room. You can tell that his mentality of the game is really picking up on some of the younger guys. And to have those two together, Gary and Jerry, I mean, it might be one of the best 2 tandem coaches in the league. So
on paper, I thought so too. So I can't wait to really see you guys in action here. I know that you have a few games played already, and I know you're going through an injury right now, but prior to the injury, how were you feeling? Are you in good shape? Feeling good? Rust shaking off?
yeah, I mean, we skated a few days for camp. Just get all the guys trying to get their chemistry built up together. But through the offseason, I came in really good shape. I tried to shed a few pounds from last season just to stay a little bit more healthy. And first day at camp, I felt like I was game shape ready. Like I didn't even need a week and a half of training camp. I just wanted to get going right away.
Right. I'm happy to hear that, buddy. And I got to ask, I know you guys just had a rough series against Mississippi, but what was it like playing against Espo and Caranci?
I mean, Esposito is the one that brought me into this league 7 years ago now. So it was different seeing him on the other side of the bench, but it was cool to play against him because you kind of know what to expect out of him. And Caranci, that guy, he's one of the best teammates that you can have, one of the best guys off the ice to talk to. And he's actually one of my good friends from home. So it was really cool to see him do well, and he's in great shape as well. So it was cool to see those guys down this weekend.
I loved seeing Phil come back into the league, and had some good times with him in Watertown. And I don't know, I think that Mississippi has a good coach there, and Caranci back after 4 years. I thought that was shocking, but I'm happy to see it.
Yeah, I mean, you never want to see someone walk away from the game, but obviously it does come that time, and I just think Caranci wasn't ready for the game to walk away from him. So he deserved to come back, and he came back at the right time.
Right. I don't want to harp on Mississippi too much, but being a new franchise, they're looking pretty good early in the year. I know that there's still some time, and they're going to make some moves. But you got to admit, for a first-time team, they're looking pretty sharp, right?
Yeah, I mean, it all started from last year, right? With Soskin and Pace and all them putting together all the off-ice stuff for those 3 neutral site games that they had down there. They put on a good show, and alone having 9,000 fans in a building, that's like that could be a number one pull to any player that you want to play in front of a crowd like this every night. The location's great. It's pretty much on the water. Like you're gonna have 75-degree plus weather almost all year. Can't really argue with that. And then obviously I've played for Esposito before, but I knew Espo was not going to have just a throw in together team and come play 2 games, get their shit kicked in kind of thing, and go back and then restructure that. They've had a lot of time in the off season. They did it proper. They did it right. So they recruited very well. And for a brand new franchise of a team, 1-0-1 for them, anyone will take that start, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, Espo brought you into the league in Danbury. He moves over to Watertown. He brings you to Watertown. Eventually, you win a championship. Was it with Espo? But now that Espo's back in the league and you're on a different team, was there any phone call? Did he call you up and be like, hey, I want you on my team? Or have you guys spoken at all?
I'm not too sure. He never called me directly because my rights are with Binghamton, so I would have assumed that he called Gary. If so, I'm not too sure, but I know both of them are big fans of myself, and I feel greatly honored to have that to say. But I mean, Espo brought me in, but I'm Gary's guy right now, so if Espo wants me, I don't think Gary's gonna give me up. Man, I don't want to leave anywhere right now.
You got some unfinished business to do there in Bingo?
Yeah, last year was cut short. It was a tough end of the year in the playoffs, especially being up that first game and then dropping both. So there's definitely some unfinished business going on right now.
Right. No, like I said, you guys are looking sharp. It's early in the year. You guys are sitting in first place. You can only go up from here. Speaking of that, speaking of Mississippi, and we're back to 10 teams in the league. What are your thoughts on the growth of the league? Getting back to 10.
Yeah, I mean it's unbelievable that at one point we were down to 6. That COVID year they only had 4 of the 8 teams playing, so it's really cool to see the league expanding and continue to expand. They're doing the things off the ice that are making the game grow. And I mean, it's hockey, right? You're always going to find a spot for a team to play. You're always going to find players that want to play. And the more players that are coming out of juniors in school, you're going to need more teams because it's soon enough, it's just not going to cut it. And all these good hockey players aren't going to play hockey anymore. So you hate to see it, but the way they're expanding right now, it's really good for the game and the league.
Now, you being in Bingo, do you think that the rivalry is going to stay Bingo and Watertown, or do you think it's going to transition over to Bingo and Elmira?
I mean, technically, you always have a rivalry. It doesn't matter with who. You get closer rivalries because you play more games against other teams. But I still think that Watertown Binghamton rivalry is going to be there. I think we have a little bit of bad blood against Danbury right now from last year, so I think there will be a different set of tone in that game. But I mean, with Elmira being super close, the road trips are less than an hour away. I think that could be something you can see getting pretty intense throughout the year.
Right. And what has it been like playing with Morassi and Schultz? Those are 2 big additions to your team there.
Yeah, I mean, as a kid, you always watch these videos of these tough guys and all these super fights, and then sitting in the same locker room with Morassi, it was unbelievable. He's a great guy, good to talk to, he's so humble, but he's a great teammate, and I'm lucky to be on his side. And then Schultz, I mean, his resume speaks for itself. He can do everything. He can score goals. He can fight. He can knock you out with a hit if you're not paying attention. He's a great passer, great mindset, and he's just got a good head on his shoulders.
What road trip? This is from a fan, actually. What road trip are you looking forward to most this season? So, any one of the 9 teams.
I'm definitely gonna have to say that Mississippi, Columbus, Carolina trip. I mean, for us, we're doing that all in one big swing, so it'll be cool. Be cool to see how the boys handle being on the road for almost 2 weeks, going to Mississippi first, playing there, and then going to Columbus, staying in a hotel for 2 weeks. it'll be interesting. It'll be my first like 2-week road trip, so it'll be
Mhm.
cool to see it, and we'll make some fun out of that for sure.
I haven't really checked out the schedule too far in depth yet, but I told Gary I'm probably going to come to the Bingo and Winston-Salem game, so I'll probably see you there.
Absolutely, can't wait to see you.
Of course, been a long time.
I know.
Craziest moment in the Fed.
Craziest moment.
Craziest moment.
Are we talking
There's a
on the?
lot to choose. I mean,
I know. On the ice, off the ice.
let's start with on the ice. Let's start there.
Well,
It's funny
a
because I
good,
asked Crancy the same thing, and he asked the same thing. On the ice or off? So
the good crazy moment, obviously, probably winning that championship, throwing the sticks and gloves up in the air, popping champagne, lifting the trophy. I mean, I don't think you can get any crazier than that. That's the ultimate goal, and that was such a surreal moment.
all right, we go with off the ice.
Uh, there was a road trip one year. Our bus on the way, our bus kind of lost the heat. So I think you're on this road trip with us. Our bus
No
lost.
heat sounds familiar.
Yeah, so all the guys were kind of intertwining legs with the same blankets just to stay warm. And then when we all woke up in the morning, we ended up in like a big barn shed. Um, we had no idea where we were. We all just asked what happened, what went on last night. So
Sounds familiar.
yeah, I mean, it's funny. It's sometimes that's how the story goes. The buses don't always make it in one go, but sometimes you just ask yourself what happened, and there's always that question that you don't even want to know the answer to. So
Yeah, Crancy got me thinking about this. When I said craziest road trip of the season, I think mine was when oh shit, we are leaving Watertown. I don't even remember where we're going. Maybe no, it was Carolina. We are going to Carolina. We broke down like 20 minutes from Watertown. They sent like 2 12-passenger vans,
yep.
and then Don sent his car. So I had to
Yeah,
drive Don's like Lincoln with like
yeah,
300,000 miles all the way to Carolina. Friggin' me and Lenartson were just
yeah,
taking turns driving while George was sleeping the whole time.
yeah, yeah. I don't think Church was touching the steering wheel on that trip.
Fuck no, he wasn't. Oh
Yeah,
my goodness. That's
crazy
that's
trip.
one of my favorite stories.
Yeah, we had the vans and we had the trailer on the one van. I'm pretty sure Lester Brown was the one guy driving it. So
Oh my yeah, Lester Brown, what a legend.
I know. So I mean, that's another crazy road trip that there's so many to pick from. You don't even know which one you want to pick.
Right. And that's why I kind of like these podcast series because we can talk about things like this where fans don't see this stuff. They don't really hear about it. So it's just like small, funny stories that fans can hear that just makes them feel like they're part of it, you know? Like,
Yeah. And again, going on all that, the fans are just hearing about it. It's not actually as bad as it is. It's all fun.
right.
So we're never at jeopardy of our lives. We're never at risk. The owners always do take care of us. So it's just fluke situations that these things do happen, and when they do,
Mm-hmm.
you try to light of the situation, right? So
Exactly. Shit happens and we overcome adversity every time. So,
always.
and it just makes for great stories too. Like, I know some fans get like real upset and make jokes about the Fed buses. And I'm like, hey, I'd rather have a Fed bus than a Fed airplane. It had one propeller, half spinning.
Yeah, at least with the bus, you're already on the ground, and if you're in a Fed airplane, you're hitting the ground at some point. So,
Oh my
we,
goodness, exactly. So tell me, every locker room has a clown. Like, I know in Watertown, in my opinion, Nate O'Brien, he was a fucking hoot. Like, anytime you
um,
needed a laugh, you just go see Nate O'Brien, #4, and he'll supply you with a laugh. Who's your go-to guy in the locker room?
yeah. I mean, it's tough to beat OB. O'Brien was one of those guys you could always count on. He's just got those random one-liners that can just make everyone die in the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, this year and even a little bit of last year, I'm gonna have to go with Gavin Yates. That guy
Yeah.
just cracks so many jokes. You just don't. Sometimes you don't even know when he's being serious. It's always fun. It's always light. It's good to have those guys around because in stressful situations when you're all panicking and you're all freaking out, he can just come in and drop a little one liner and mood's light again. So
Yep. He was my second guy. I was gonna say Gavin Eats as well. Man, he's hilarious too. He's got some
oh
stories. I mean, I'm not gonna spoil his stories on here. I'll let him tell them, but Shoot, man. Sometimes he just says something, you're like, wow, like I don't know if I should laugh or call PETA.
Exactly, right? Sometimes you're like, wait, did you just say that, or am I just dreaming right now?
No, absolutely. So you're dealing with a slight injury. You're kind of day to day, and now MJ Merkel suspended for 2 games. What does this mean for your guys' defense?
I mean, our defense, of course, the depth is there. We can throw guys in at any point of the night, any weekend, and they know what job to do. So, I mean, obviously, being injured, it's never fun because you never know your true timeline.
Mhm.
So hopefully, through the doctors and trainers and the rehabbing, I can get back as soon as possible. MJ suspension, I mean, it happens through the game. You hate to see it, but we just battle adversity, right? So
Right.
it doesn't matter who's in, who's out of the lineup each night. Those guys know exactly what job they have to do, what role they have to fill, and what role they have to play. So night in and night out, the guys that are in are there to do a job, and they do their job very well.
Perfect. So what we like to hear, team first. We are running low on time, so let me get to a couple fan questions. I
Yep.
got a few more here for you. Dylan wants to know, will you put up a good fight against Danbury? And now we don't know if you're going to play or not, but if you play, are you going to put up a good fight?
Well, either or not, if I play or not, our team's definitely going to put up a good fight, especially the way the year ended last year. We do not want that same outcome coming into this weekend. So the boys are already at it. We had practice today and practice all week. We're just preparing for that. And we are definitely going to put up a good fight against Danbury.
Well, there you go, Dylan. He just answered your question there. Kevin wants to know, if afforded the opportunity, would you ever play for the Prowlers?
I mean, I'm an open book. I'm never going to say yes. I'm never going to say no. So if the situation comes down to it at one point in my career, if I have to play there, I'll definitely play there, and I'll take it with the utmost respect to be a part of any organization.
Absolutely. Real professional right here. Last one from Remington. Favorite alcoholic beverage?
So, well, I don't know. Let's just go with beer. We'll stick to beer. Trying to get away from alcohol, but we'll just go with beer. Beer's an easy one.
That's right. Nothing wrong with little PBR.
Bud Lights,
That's
Bud
just
lattes.
okay. Bud lattes. All right. I
You never
know.
go wrong.
I say PBR, and I was like, "What are you, 80 years old?" Well, maybe.
You
I
can never
like
go.
PBR. All right. So you guys are traveling to Danbury this weekend to take on the second place Hat Tricks. So that should be a really good matchup. You can tune in tomorrow at 7:30, and then again on Saturday at 7 p.m. Be sure to follow Bench Minor Hockey on social media, as well as the Binghamton Black Bears. Make sure you follow them on social media as well. Make sure you subscribe to our channel along with Binghamton's. Which reminds me, Binghamton, do they stream their away games?
I believe so. If not, it'll just be whichever team we are playing. So it would
Right.
go to stage that all the Binghamton fans can watch the game from there.
Exactly. You might as well just go to YouTube and subscribe to every team in the league so you can make sure that you don't miss a game. Kyle Powell, any final words for Bench Minor Hockey viewers and or Black Bear Nation?
Well, just Binghamton fans, just keep doing what you're doing. We love to play in front of you. It's a treat for myself. I know for the rest of the boys as well. Keep doing what you guys do. We love to hear you cheer nice and loud, and hopefully we can put some more wins in our building for you guys. Bench Minor Hockey. Well, Sean, you are doing an unreal job. Proud to see that you transitioned from that equipment manager to operations now to running a podcast. So it's unbelievable to watch you do this and watch this grow every day. So I'm proud of you for that. And honestly, just thanks for having me on here. It's such an honor.
Of course, brother. I'm glad you came on. We will make sure that we get you back on another episode because you're a fan favorite. Everyone loves you. I'm not sure what it is about you, but you just got that aura, I guess.
And just make sure everyone has a good time. Take care of everyone else before I take care of myself.
That's right. That's right. Well, we will talk to you again soon, buddy. Really appreciate it. And make sure you tune in next week for another episode.
All right, thanks, Sean.